Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of Cultural Connection, our long-awaited episode since we were we had
on hiatus for
we weren't on hiatus.
Yeah,
We
for
just
like
we're moving
a
our
week.
what do we call it? Our
Two.
posting schedule.
yes, our schedule dates are different now, guys.
Yes,
because
it's
we're
going to be-
students.
School
No.
is so
Yeah.
important,
Yay!
and
It's going to be
Go
every
education.
What?
Go
No
education.
education?
I'm being tormented.
Yeah.
said go education.
Oh, I thought she said no education.
Both.
I wish I had no education.
True.
Everybody drop out. What do you call it? So we're gonna be posting out videos bi-weekly now, so every 2 weeks on Friday, subject to change because we're all really busy here. Anyways, we're gonna get into our topic. So today we will be oh my god, I'm so sorry. We will be discussing something very recent tonight. If you
Yes.
haven't seen the news or Twitter or any news variant of that recently, the US has taken back their troops from Afghanistan, which in turn has made the Taliban overthrow the Afghanistan government.
Right. Oh, first of all, what is?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yep.
What is the Taliban? Because even I don't really know the specific.
Savannah's laughing her ass off right now.
Sorry, that was kind of funny. Continue.
Anyways,
the Taliban's not funny. It was just kind of
The Taliban's not funny,
The
definitely.
Taliban is not funny, guys.
Yeah, I'm
For
off.
clarification.
I'm off. I'm not here right now.
Yeah,
Ken's
we
in
can
a
tell.
different. He's ascending planes.
He's ascending planes.
Anyway, what is the
Um,
Taliban? Tell me what the Taliban is right now.
So emerging in the early 1990s, I think it was like 1994 or something. The Taliban are Islamic purist who have actually taken over Afghanistan before. In 1996, I believe. What's wrong with you?
It was Kenneth again. Continue.
Yes, please continue.
Their
Oh my
ruling during
God.
that time was extremely harsh. Women had like little to no rights. They did not tolerate any religious freedom, and their enforcement of punishment was severely brutal.
Why was the U.S. even in Afghanistan in the first place?
Well, the Taliban were like protecting or like kind of defending fort for this dude named Osama bin Laden, who was the head of a terrorist group of not like
Oh my God.
Every time we cover a
I just
serious
unplugged my
topic, we
headphones.
can't take it seriously.
Oh my God.
The reason I was laughing earlier is because
Okay.
I put it among us watching it.
Guys, we're not
Oh my
okay
God.
right now. I'm
Oh
so
my god,
sorry.
this is terrible.
Oh my
I swear
God.
we probably are all high.
I'm sorry,
Oh
guys.
my God.
Usually we
Bro, I
record
promise.
around like
School is
usually we record around 10, but I came like really late today, so we're recording at 11, and I think we're all losing it.
Also, school's been really
We're
taxing
not
on us.
high. No drugs. No drugs.
So I'm
no drugs.
sorry if this doesn't none of this makes sense.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm gonna
so
start
sorry.
that. I'm gonna start that over again. Because I feel like it's not a very good thing for us to be laughing in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Kenneth, can you ask
Yeah.
the question again?
Right, okay, I want to know, why was the U.S. even in Afghanistan in the first place?
Okay, well, the Taliban were defending fort for Osama bin Laden, who is the head of a terrorist group. I think we all know what 9/11 is.
Yep.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. So that was executed by the I'm gonna butcher his name.
Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda. Okay, thank you. Which was his terrorist group. So the US came to Afghanistan. They're all pissed and shit for obvious reasons. And we killed them. Yay!
Maybe.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What do you mean,
fuck.
maybe? Is that
I don't
like
know,
a
'cause
conspiracy
people are-
theory that
I
he
don't
didn't
know.
die?
Like,
He's
I thought he
still
didn't
alive.
die.
Is he still
I mean, I don't
alive?
know. I don't know if
No,
we-
No, he's
dead.
not. Oh my gosh.
He is
Last
he
time I
is
checked,
dead.
he died.
Okay.
I thought I'm pretty
Last
sure.
time you checked.
Right,
He was
okay.
the imposter.
So
sorry.
So why were we there for 20 years?
Hell if I know. I'm sure it was to keep the Taliban at bay, since as we see now, the US leaving left an opening for the Taliban to take over. But with all those informationals out the way, we can actually get into the meat of the discussion. I think Trang has something she wanted to say about this paralleling with the Vietnam War. Go ahead.
As you guys like if you guys have been keeping up with like the news and stuff like that, there are some pictures of the last plane of the US Army leaving Afghanistan, and there were like people like basically clinging onto the plane to like be able to like escape
They
from it,
fell
which is
off.
like, yeah, and like they fell off, and like it's so scary that they would rather like die from like falling off an airplane than staying in their home country. And it was a lot similar to the fall of Saigon, when all of the soldiers left Vietnam, and basically children, women, like everybody in Vietnam was trying to like get onto those planes to be able to escape like the communist regime.
Hmm.
Yeah, and um as I saw in the news, a lot of people were saying that it was similar too, since I think wasn't the Vietnam War like the second longest war that the America had, like right under Afghanistan.
I couldn't tell you for sure, but maybe because I know the Cold War I think is the longest, but it's not really a
It
war
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't really a
Yeah.
technically.
war.
It's kind of just a period of like really high tension.
Mhm.
So they
I
just call it a war. I don't know.
I looked it up. You're right. The first is the war in Afghanistan, and then it's the Vietnam War.
Bro, let's go. I'm so smart.
Yeah, she's so
Sorry.
smart. Based.
But yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
But I think in government, because I'm taking government now, my teacher actually showed us a video of like all the people trying to climb onto the plane, and the plane was like in the fucking air, and people were falling. There was, I think,
Sweet.
yeah, mid-air, and people were falling off. It was like hundreds of feet down, and they just fell
Oh
off.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh
Mhm.
my
like it
god.
was terrifying.
Are they
I
allowed to
think.
show that in class?
Well, he showed it
They show
anyway.
worse.
You can
Oh
clearly
yeah.
see it. You can clearly see
Mhm.
them falling off, or at least like
It's
if you were to
terrible.
look from a plane from very far away, you'd see like a little dot
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
speck,
just like
like
the little yeah. I know what
Did you
mean.
guys see the video where basically they handed like their baby to the soldiers so that their baby could leave Afghanistan?
I
It was
didn't actually.
Yeah, it was
I've kind of been
basically
like not active on social media lately, so I haven't really seen a lot.
she keeps
like
like
this
on
dad
and off
was
deleting
holding
Instagram.
his dad his dad this dad was holding up his like child, like it was a child like
Mhm.
under 2, right? It was a
Mhm.
baby, it was in diaper.
Like
Oh
an infant,
God.
yeah.
And like was passing his baby to the soldiers so that the baby could get onto the plane to safety, which is crazy because can you imagine like leaving your child, like
In
not even a
hopes
Yeah.
that
child,
they'd
a
have a
baby.
better future.
Yeah.
That's so
Oh,
sad.
that's. Mhm.
But it's a
But
very difficult situation because it's like, was the US leaving necessary or was it not necessary? Or like, because it's on one side, we think about ourselves as like the war in Afghanistan was pretty much going nowhere and it had cost us already $300 trillion.
mhm.
And then on the other
Yeah.
hand, you're thinking of the Afghan people and that if we leave, then the Taliban's going to take over. So it's like, what can you do?
Right.
Mhm.
What a lot of people are discussing right now is like, was it right of us to, you know,
Right.
um,
So about that, actually, I did watch like a minute from Joe Biden's speech on Twitter. I watched it was like a minute and 30 seconds.
mhm,
And he says in his speech that there's really no good time to pull out of war, like ever.
right.
And he says that they tried to get Afghanistan to fight for themselves, and then once they left, they just gave up, and that's why the Taliban took over. Is they didn't do anything. The political officials fled the country,
Right.
and
Right.
they just didn't do anything.
Bye.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They just left the people there,
Oh god.
yeah,
Sorry, the way you said, yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like it's such like a hard like moral ideal for us to
Decision,
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, it's, I mean, things like this aren't so black and white.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
gray in between.
I feel like there's this thing that I saw, it was a quote or something from this book that we've been reading, The Sea Wolf, and one of it is that life only cares about life itself, which is like you only care about something when you yourself need it. So
Mhm.
for the US citizens, they see that us pulling out of the war is good for us because we've been in this long, unending war. We're wasting so much resources on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mhm.
on the other side, the Afghan people, they need this because without it, they'll be taken over by the Taliban, which
Right.
happened.
Right.
And it's just so hard for like us to even be the middleman because like on one side it's positive for us, but on the
Mhm.
other side it's negative for the people who are living in that war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and personally, I think, like I lost my train of thought. Oops. I think, like give me a second.
Take
I
your
have
time.
to let it come back. Oh, I think, like, really there's no way to solve it now. I feel like the best way to solve it would have been never entering the war in the first place. Because
Yeah.
we went to Afghanistan, did what we wanted to do, we killed Osama bin Laden, done. And I feel like if we had left it at that, that's probably the only way that we wouldn't be stuck in the situation. Like Kenna said earlier, why were we there for 20 years?
Yeah.
Because
You.
Like
essentially the United States was fighting a war for Afghanistan, and it's not our war, you know? And
yeah.
the United States has a long history, I think up until, like, the Korean and Vietnam War, they have a long history of not getting involved in other, like, countries' things.
Yeah.
And although it
But
sounds
now,
bad, yeah, although it sounds bad, I feel like it would have been better for Afghanistan to fight it themselves because I guess maybe their politicians grew reliant on the US occupation. And then
Mm-hmm.
when we left, it just collapsed and then they didn't know what to do anymore.
yeah, I feel like that's like a trend that's been happening in the US
Mhm.
recently, like within the last like 20 or 30 years, because they'll like start wars or they'll invade countries and
Yeah.
make the people reliant upon them and then leave them to basically fend for themselves, and that always causes like a crash in whatever was going on, you know?
Mhm.
I feel like we have some sort of like savior complex.
Yeah, I feel like we do.
The
Exactly.
US has
Like,
a big savior complex when it
I
comes
wish
to
we
foreign
could go
policy.
back to, like, when we were an isolated country and we weren't getting involved in other countries' things. Because a lot of times it's
Mhm.
not our issue to deal with, and it sounds bad, but as a country, you sometimes you have to focus on yourself and the well-being of your people. Because there's stuff happening in the United States that needs to be focused on,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
like, a lot of
Exactly.
like
And most of our federal budget goes to these wars
yeah,
that we're
exactly.
fighting for other countries, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And I mean, of course, like, I'm sure there's an issue of, like, alliances and stuff. Like, I'm not a world leader. I don't know what they go through. But
We're just 17.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'm 16, dog. I'm not even old enough to vote. I can't, like, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a tricky situation because it's like, what really can you do? Like, I've tried to put myself in the president's shoes. Like, what would I do? You know? What would Joe Biden do?
Oh my god.
WWBD.
WJBD.
JBD.
Please stop.
What
What would
would
Joe
I
Joe
hate
Biden do?
Biden
y'all.
do?
I hate y'all.
Actually, Joe Biden did
Um
allocate up to 500 million to aid Afghanistan refugees into like escaping
Mhm.
the
Oh,
Taliban takeover.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
saw another photograph of the people, like the refugees, like in this like
Mm-hmm.
plane.
Plane.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yep. Take your
it's
time.
11. I'm
Yep.
so tired. But they were in this plane, and there was a lot of men, like a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and which is
Mhm.
kind of scary to me because the Taliban are kind of sexist. Not even kind of, they're sexist.
No, they just
Yeah.
are.
That could actually lead us into a good topic point because we should talk about what the women in Afghanistan are going through,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is, you know, very
During
not
A
good.
lot. Yeah.
Yep.
the first takeover of the Taliban, the women were treated very terribly. Couldn't even
Mhm.
go outside without God, what's it called? Can't remember what it's called, but they're basically just covered like head to toe.
A
Mhm.
burqa.
Yes,
Oh
I
yeah.
believe so.
Mhm.
And like they were not allowed outside. Did not have.
Mm.
And I
Mhm.
feel like I think they were just very minimized to going outside in general. Oh my god, I literally read up on this, but I forgot like the things that I read.
Don't worry about it, bro. Me
I
too.
feel so sorry.
Mhm.
I feel so bad. Y'all good?
Oh.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna give
We
me
were
notes.
we were
Yeah. Oh
waiting
no
for you
no
to
sorry.
finish.
But like I think after the first Taliban takeover and then the US occupation, I was reading on it today that women had a lot more rights in Afghanistan, and now that the Taliban has taken over again, that the women are worrying a lot about like things like,
those rights
you
being
know,
taken.
yeah, like
Mhm.
their education and like even worse, like just getting raped and sexually assaulted and like sold
Yeah.
into like what are those called? Like sex trafficking, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a big
Mhm.
concern for women in Afghanistan now because they don't have that US occupation anymore. They can't
Oh,
like
they
Mhm.
weren't allowed to work like at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Weren't allowed to work, and I don't think they were allowed to be educated until a specific age, but I don't remember the specific age.
No, I don't think they can go to school. Period.
Oh, I thought it was just a specific age.
Mhm.
But they did have a lot of like they were they were very focused on like the Islamic religion,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
think they persecuted anybody who would practice any other religion.
And
And
their view of Islam, I'd like to say, is very extremist. It's
yes,
not like
Yeah.
Muslim people are not like that. And that's what I hate is like people think like, oh, because of the Taliban, because of the stigma around 9/11 that like
mhm.
with Muslim people, that
Mhm.
everybody just assumes that every Muslim is an extremist.
And they're not.
Most
Oh
Muslim
my
people
gosh.
Exactly.
don't. Yeah,
They're
exactly.
not.
Most
They're
Muslim
seriously
people do
not.
not agree with the Taliban.
Exactly. And that puts like Muslim people in America or in other parts of the world in a very dangerous
Yeah,
situation
it puts them
as
at
well.
risk. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, when the Taliban ruled over Afghanistan from like in the like 1990, like 596 to like 2000, when did the US take over? Like 2001, 2000?
Probably
2000,
around
yeah,
2000.
2001.
So
2001, yeah.
they were banned from going to school, from working, from leaving the house, participating in politics, or assessing healthcare.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no.
That's
Yeah.
insane. And this was in 2001, so how much worse is it gonna get?
They did say something about how they would start like respecting women.
Will
Oh,
they really though?
I
I feel
know.
like
Will
they
they really
say it
though?
to
Okay.
say it.
Yeah.
They say
They
it, but they
like so
won't.
that
Because
everybody else don't shit on them.
I read this article about this doctor um and she was being like threatened by people
Mhm.
from the Taliban because she had offered a 13-year-old girl birth control
Mm.
because the 13-year-old girl, she was basically one of the people in the Taliban that was his wife, right? So she's
The
just like,
13-year-old was his wife?
yes, yes,
Oh my god.
exactly.
That's another thing, but continue.
Okay.
Yeah, so this 13-year-old girl, she went to the doctor and she was like, my husband's trying to get me pregnant and I don't want to get pregnant. So the doctor was just like, yeah, you're 13, obviously, like you don't want to get pregnant. And then also like the little girl, like the doctor said that she was like very physically weak and
Mhm.
if she was to carry a baby, she
She'd
probably
probably
wouldn't
die.
survive.
Yep.
Exactly. So she prescribed the girl birth control and then the doctor said that like she started getting phone calls from the Taliban and they were like threatening her and like moving in on her and this was like over the course of months, you know?
Wow.
Oh my
And she was like,
gosh.
finally I just had to decide that like there's no way I can stay here. I had to like find a way out, you know? And this is like
Yeah,
only a few days ago.
A few
like
days
what
ago,
you
this
were
was
saying.
recent?
Yeah, all of
Yeah.
this is very recent. Like what you were saying about the child marriage, like the 13-year-old, that reminds
Mhm.
me that with the takeover of the Taliban is also like they're having a increase in child marriages again of Taliban
Yeah.
members like marrying girls as young as like 11, which is
Exactly. And these are like
crazy. Like,
grown men.
yet no, there was a picture I saw.
Oh.
It was a 40 estimated that he's like 40 years old at least at a wedding
Mhm.
ceremony with an 11-year-old girl.
And he's at least 40 years
At
old.
least 40.
Yeah.
And he looked to be 50 something maybe.
Ah, that's just
Yeah, and child
Exactly.
marriage is a whole different thing on its own, let alone
Mhm.
for child marriage, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
And any
Yeah.
like any healthcare for these young girls is seen as like un-Islamic to them,
Yeah, to them,
you
not
know?
to
Exactly. Like
other
yes,
Islamic people.
just to
Just
exactly, just to
to
like make sure
extremists.
that's Mhm. So yeah, that's so sad. Like, oh my God.
Um, so another like hot debate about this is sorry. Sorry. What do you call it? So like what the fuck are we gonna even do about the Taliban takeover?
I think
There's
there's not
Were we
really
even
much we can do.
right?
I mean, we've
There were
already
some
Yeah.
left.
people saying like we should be getting the UN involved, United Nations
I
involved.
mean,
I mean,
I
sure, go ahead.
yeah, sure.
I don't
I mean,
know
I'm not a
how the
politician.
possibility of that.
yeah.
I don't really know how the UN works, to be honest. I'm not into all that.
I think I tried to do a little
Yeah.
bit of research on it, but it was a bit too much.
Yeah.
I have to like step by step do
I
it.
don't
Yeah.
know. It's just the US and foreign policy just shitty.
Just make my head hurt, bro.
Exactly.
It's
Foreign
terrible.
policies just like hurt my brain. Like the entirety of the Vietnam War, what was that, bro? Like, why did we do
Exactly.
that? What was
What?
the point?
No, okay. The point it was an ego thing. No, because these soldiers and the American government thought they're like these savages.
It's because
We
I
can
thought
beat
that
them.
it was
Bang
about
bang.
communism. Because, like,
Okay,
Yeah.
someone was like,
so
hey, President, whoever it is, there's communism. He was like, no!
okay, there was a time
Always
when
so
the
fucking pressed about communism.
I
I
know!
like
They
Just let other
hate the
countries.
communists.
they do. Oh my
I
god.
don't understand what it is with the US and not letting other countries have their own political systems. Like, not everybody wants to be a republic, dog.
but it was because a lot of countries in Asia they were getting like they were turning into like communism like
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
They're
so
being
the
influenced.
US was like,
No
no, we gotta stop
communism!
it. Okay,
Yeah.
but then what made them basically lose the war was because their ego was so big and they were like, we can beat these savages. And
Right. And also they're not used to fighting in such lush and dense rainforests and like
Mhm.
yeah,
jungles.
no, if they were actually
Yeah.
like if they actually cared about the war and wasn't doing it because we're more what is the word? Like
Better?
Not better. Yeah, like better, but like our
Refined?
industrialization is better than
Oh,
yeah,
advanced?
Oh,
More
right.
advanced.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and so that we can beat y'all really easily. And then when they couldn't, they stayed there and they lost like a lot of money,
And a lot of
basically.
men
Yeah,
too, yeah.
exactly. They
And for what?
like force people to stay, like,
I
and
guess
And
like
basically die,
mhm.
like
that could also
knowing they would
parallel
die.
with like with what was happening in Afghanistan. Like what was the point of that? Why did we do that? For 20
saviors, pretty
years.
Yeah,
much.
Because why?
exactly.
For what?
Like
I'm I've seen this
we
from George
had
Bush.
exactly
This
true.
is your fault, George.
I blame him. Yes, Bush.
Do you have anything you'd
Bush.
like to add, Kenneth? You've been very quiet.
He's just been sitting
This
there.
this whole time I've been thinking about like it's sort of like a past topic now because I was thinking about it earlier.
We can bring it up again.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it was
we can talk
I
about
mean
it.
it was sort of just like it the like taking the US troops out of Afghanistan, like it might seem I do think it was sort of personally I think it was necessary
Right.
because
I feel the same way, yeah.
No,
if
it
you're in
definitely was.
a
Mhm.
rut in war, you kind of can't just keep sitting there,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
It's like,
Especially
what's
for
the
20
point?
years.
Yeah, and
Exactly,
like
yeah.
it's sort of at this point it's like a sort of like war strategy, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because you kind of have to if you're making no progress, you sort of have to like back up and like sort of
yeah.
like let's like some of your not there it's not our territory but like
Mhm.
some of like
Mhm.
just like let the territory be taken over before you can like rest and like take action in another way or at least have another thing push back
Mhm.
Yeah.
because you can't like expect to grow a a a resistance against the Taliban if you keep using up your resources
Exactly.
and like stay sitting in a rut where you can't develop anything.
It's
And I
just
feel like oh, go
oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. It's just not beneficial for the U.S. to be even staying for that long because the amount of like lives and I'm sorry,
And
the amount of like lives that were lost, money, resources, stuff like that. It's insane. And over what a span of 20 years.
20 years. Exactly. And
Yeah.
like the best analogy that I can like make of this is like trench warfare during like what World War One, where one troop would advance and then get completely shot down. The other group would advance, get completely shot down, and they were going
Yeah.
nowhere for so long and they
Exactly.
were losing so many men and for what? They were nothing was happening, you know? And that's the best way I can put the Afghanistan war is just trench warfare with no trenches. Nothing's
Yeah.
happening. Nobody's
Like
progressing.
at the most, what they were doing was keeping the Taliban at bay and like
Yeah.
somewhat protecting the people there, but like
Didn't they
there was
do like a
no
lot of
actual
bad shit?
progress.
What?
Hold on. Didn't they do like a lot of bad shit to the
No,
Afghanistan people
yeah,
while they
let's
were
talk about
there?
that actually. I'm not sure if it's Afghanistan. I might be completely wrong, but the US does have a history of torturing um Arab people, Middle Eastern people.
You
That
do.
And
is true.
That is
I'm
true.
sure like if you've done like research, you've probably come across like this picture of maybe an Afghan man. He might be from Iraq. I might be wrong, but he's like standing on a box or something. It's a disturbing picture, and he's like his hands are like out in like a cross formation, and he has a bag like a black cloth over his head, and I believe he was being electrocuted. I'm not sure, but I've seen like I've read about the things that they've done. I've read that like soldiers would like rape prisoners with broomsticks.
Oh.
sticks in their
Yeah.
fingernails and like a lot of like really bad stuff. And of course, because it's the United States military, surprise, they're corrupt. There's bad people
Yeah.
in there, which is another
Exactly.
reason I don't like us getting involved in overseas affairs because we never do anything good.
We never do
Never do
Yeah,
anything
anything
like
good. I
I don't
really can't
know.
think of like one time. The only good thing I can think about is like when we rebuilt Japan, but that was literally after we destroyed them.
Oh
And
my
they were like, "Oh,
gosh.
geez, sorry." And so they were like, we'll
For
rebuild for
real.
you. And we can be allies now. Sorry, bestie. Sorry about that.
Sorry, bestie, didn't mean to. You know.
Gosh. I swear the US is just terrible with foreign policy.
And we could talk about that whole Japan thing in another episode because that's like
I
crazy.
really
Like
want to. I
I
really
read
want
about
to.
that.
I just
Both
feel like
Japanese imperialism and
hmm
our own treatment to Japan. So I feel
Yeah,
like,
with the
there's two sides of the story.
two
We can
sides of the
discuss them both.
story. You know, Japan wasn't all that good, but some of the
Japan
stuff
was
the
not all that
U.S. did
good.
Japan wasn't good either. Japan is
Japan
terrible,
is terrible.
but the U.S. isn't
It's also
Jesus. They're
terrible.
not pure, bro.
Also terrible.
It's
Yeah.
two sides of the same coin.
Two
mhm.
terrible people. I had to leave in the middle of it. Cat, so I don't really know what's going on. I agree, guys.
Oh my god. It's late.
It is late.
It's pretty late.
I'm sorry. I feel like they're just as of right now, because we don't have that much information on it, there's just
Yeah.
not all that much to say.
Because this is a very, very current event. Like
Mhm.
It's
this
like
week.
last week.
Exactly.
This
Literally
wasn't
like this week.
was last week. Last week.
Oh, we were
We-
scared
I don't know.
because we were scared that we weren't gonna be able to do it on the subject because when we decided on doing this, it was on what, Monday? And this just came out, right? It
Yeah.
came out like a few days before when we were talking
Yeah.
about it.
I don't remember what our original subject was.
This was our original subject. We had
Yeah.
a backup topic though,
Oh, okay.
which
Oh, yeah.
I think it's nice that we talk about current events like this. Listeners, if you would like us to talk about more current events like this, or you know what, if you'd like to suggest something that we talk about, please comment or
comment
message us on Instagram or Twitter. Follow us.
or Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to follow on
Yeah.
Twitter. Oh my god.
Follow on Twitter because
are we ending
Alex
the
runs
conversation?
it.
I do.
Huh?
Alex is
Um,
lonely over there.
I
Yeah.
am lonely. I
I'm
think I'm
taking
gonna
all the followers to our Instagram account.
See.
Is this the end of the conversation?
I guess. Yeah, this
I
is a
think
pretty short
so.
episode, but there's not really much else to talk about. Is there?
Yeah. I just urge everybody listening to like do your own research. There's like articles being
Right.
published every day.
Form your own
because
opinions, guys. It's
Yeah.
okay to
Please
have
form your
different
own opinions.
opinions from others. Don't just listen to us. Just take what we
Mhm.
say with a grain of salt. I can hear Midnight.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Alexia's
Aw.
cat wants to
Brushing her cat.
say something.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something to all of our? You want to come here? Don't wink at me.
He said
I just
protect
hear
Afghan women. That's what he said.
Yep, he said.
I agree. Good.
Also, the Cultural
He's so
Connection
base.
Crew. That's our name now that I made up today.
Our
on
Instagram,
Instagram.
the Cultural Connection Crew.
Cultural Connection Crew. Our
So like
hearts
the
go out.
CCC.
I'm trying to be serious. Yes, our hearts go out to the Afghan people. Anybody that is Afghan, if you have family there, we stand with you, and we hope you are doing well in this time. If you need support, message us on Instagram. Talk to
Yeah.
us. We're nice. It's okay.
We don't
We're
bite.
all great
We don't bite.
people.
Yeah.
Savannah
Well,
might
that's
though. She
debatable.
looks like
Yeah.
a bitch.
Oh.
That's pretty debatable.
Vanna might
Two
send
bites.
you some Among Us.
Savannah
Two
bites.
bites.
Bro,
Two
shut up.
bites.
Amongst.
No more Among Us. This is serious.
But yes, if there are any like very current topics that you would like us to talk about, of course, sorry, we're not all looking at the news 24/7, and usually
Right.
the news that we do look at,
Yeah.
it's not international news.
Mhm.
So please send that in, and we will definitely start doing our research so we can talk about that
Yep.
and discuss it. If you would also like to be a guest on our podcast, you can always send us a message and
Yeah.
show your interest in
Instagram.
that. Via Instagram
Or
Or
Twitter.
Twitter.
or Twitter.
Follow
and
the
always,
Twitter,
please.
please. I'm
And
stealing
show
all the
your
followers.
and show your interest for that, and we can probably figure something out so we can have you on here as well.
Yep.
And with that, wow, we said most of the things that we really
This is
need.
the shortest episode we've had so far. Oh, I
Yes, it
didn't
was.
do my episode plug of like every episode. Go back.
So
I don't know
true.
why you're starting on 10, but go back, watch the other episodes.
Exactly.
We have great episodes. We talk about food. We talk about what do we talk about? We talk about social
Food.
Yes,
construct.
Food.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fun.
Oh my god, can you not do that, dude? My cat is acting
Oh.
like he's on crack right now.
That's
Oh
literally
my
it.
god. Yeah.
That's all of us right now.
What's wrong with you?
We're all just
Wear
crack
your
babies.
mask, guys. Please.
Oh,
wear your
Please,
mask.
please,
Especially with
please,
the links.
please wear your mask. Oh my
Yes,
god.
wear your masks, please. The cases where we are rising. Maybe we'll have a episode
Yeah.
about COVID in the future. It is a very hot topic.
We'll definitely be having one about
Yeah,
that.
it's a very hot
Yeah.
topic because we've all been living in this hell for 2 years now. So
And I'm
I'm sure it's
fucking
the only
tired
thing
of it.
the only thing that's been on anyone's mind.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
follow us on Instagram, Twitter,
on Instagram,
subscribe,
Twitter,
Yeah.
subscribe,
Wear your
notifications,
mask.
like this
Get
video,
vaccinated if you can.
get
share our
vaccinated,
videos, all
wear
that.
your mask, share our videos, subscribe. Did I already say subscribe?
I think you
Subscribe
said it like
again.
5 times.
Subscribe from 5 different accounts if you must.
Yeah.
There you
Steal your
go.
mom's Google account and then subscribe to us with that.
Yep, make different emails.
And your grandma's.
Subscribe.
And your grandma's? What if they don't have a grandma, huh?
Okay,
don't.
and
Your
your goldfish.
grandpa?
I don't fucking care. Like,
Yep, and that has been. Oh, this is a step. This is a milestone, guys. This is episode 10. We should get a cake.
oh my god. A
Woo!
cake?
Oh my god, episode 10. That's
We
like
have to have an emotional moment.
That's so
We have to be
sexy
like,
of us.
followers, thank you so much
Ew,
for your
why is
support.
she caressing herself?
why are you touching yourself like that?
You guys can't see, but Savannah's just like
touching my
just-
face, guys. Thank you for all your continued support. 10 episodes. Woo!
Yeah.
We made it.
Yay! We made it
Yeah.
to 10 episodes.
That's and we still
we didn't
have
fall apart
like
before
3
that.
followers.
I
on
know,
Twitter
right? I'm
After 10
surprised.
episodes.
3.
Sheesh, more episodes than followers? That's kind of
Damn.
Oh
And we
my
have
god.
22 on the Instagram account. I'm currently
That's
beating
L.
Alex with our social media accounts.
Are we?
Oh
Are
my
we
god.
like? Are
We're
we?
competing.
Are we
Is it
competing?
beef? Is there
We
beef?
have
Like
beef. We
I
have
will
beef.
follow on all 8 of my other Instagram accounts. I mean, my other Twitter accounts.
I was like, you're
I'll make-
boosting
I'll make-
Savannah's followers? What are you doing?
I'll follow
I don't even
from
have
all
8.
4 of my
Why do you
Instagram
What do you
accounts.
need 4 Instagram accounts?
I don't know. One of them is Cultural Connection, and I have like.
You follow Culture Connection with Cultural Connection?
Can you do that?
No.
Follow
Can
yourself?
you follow yourself?
I'll figure out.
Oh
a
my
way.
god,
maybe.
that's funny.
This has been fun, guys.
Okay,
this is
I think
fun.
it's time to go.
Yep,
Um,
it's time to go. I'm gonna
We
go
will
to
catch
sleep.
you. We will catch you
Same.
guys
What?
in the next one.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Kevin, say
Everyone.
bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
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 Okay. End it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Bye.
I fucking hate
Bye.
smart people.
Bye.